Father was upset and threw the son up and away, and this time hit again to daze the bastards. Stuck those fingers down his mouth and grabbed his jaw. "Oh, you tough little shit," he yelled and pulled down. He twisted as he pulled, and a different snap could be heard, and the boy yelled and cried and would have fallen, but instead he was thrown. The large door welcomed the body with a thud. Father let the body slide down, opened the door, and kicked the body in. It didn't go very far, so the next time he picked it up and did better. This time the body landed close to Sis, who was awake and crying. The smoke blurred the room, and after a while, Father and his friends were laughing and jeering at each other, watching the news and not really caring what it said, but laughing all the same as they tossed dirty pong balls and drank and smoked and breathed in the smells that they were used to and couldn't live without anymore. There was a knock at the door, and Father looked at the time and smiled. He guessed they would be hungry again. He was hungry again, of course, so they probably were, and he would feed them. He went and opened the door. "Sis, you sit. I'm talking to Dad," he had said, and had walked to the door. Sis looked at him now, and she didn't understand. She saw Bro try to open the door, but it was locked. And then he knocked, and Father opened up. "Hungry, boy?" He just asked that, more of a statement, and turned his back. Bro had his pencil, and he followed Father a bit. Saw his friends on the floor, happy and dumb, and now he didn't feel dumb anymore. "I don't feel dumb no more," he thought. "And Dad's so dumb. He dumb and he don't know me well, and he hurt Sis like that, and he don't know shit. He don't understand because he's got too many cans and smarts, and he keeps hurting Sis like that." He raised his arm, and he heard his father's friends laughing. He saw his father's face through his back, smiling and stumbling, looking for munchies to get his son, who he thought was hungry and didn't understand. The pencil stuck. There it was, and Sis screamed at the door. The friends, they laughed, and Bro was covered. He let his hands find his face and watched Father fall through his fingers. Father tried to get up and looked at his son, and his son saw the fear in his eyes. His son saw the agony, and this was something that he understood. He understood what he saw in his father's eyes, and he kicked him. He kicked him across the floor, and they laughed, and she cried, and the blood trailed behind him. He kicked him across the floor, and they laughed, and she cried. And the blood trailed behind him as Bro kicked. He began to tear and cry, and Sis ran over to him, and their tears mixed with blood and stained the two. Father slowed, and Bro stopped, and Sis grabbed Bro by the shoulders and tried to drag his girth away, but couldn't. Father tried to keep breathing, but behind his neck where it was placed, the pencil stuck. There was no more laughter. His eyes fluttered anxiously between everything, and now he understood. "Oh, Sis, you be okay. I'm gonna be strong for you, Sis." He looked at Sis and nodded, and then he looked at them and saw. He was still so angry, so mad, and he wanted to hurt them too. She was crying and didn't know what to do, so she held onto her brother and kept crying. "Oh, Daddy, Daddy, what about Daddy? Mommy's gone, and Daddy, Daddy?" She be okay, and they be proud. It don't matter if she proud of me, because she okay. She be fine, and that all that matters. I miss Mommy. She couldn't take it, but she tried. "Bro, Mommy tried. Why, Daddy?" She beat feebly into his back and crumpled onto the floor, sitting by the body. She cried, but it didn't matter, and he stood there. They were quiet, and the smoke faded away, the ashes coals dying, the body there, and the news. The news rattled on. He looked down at his father, frightened at what had happened. He looked between Father and them, and saw that they were frightened too. The TV was loud, but they and him were silent, and his father was silenced, and he realized all of this. He looked over at his sister and nodded. He looked at them then, and smiled, though he was not happy. Thank you.
There's two people. Exactly.
And next up is Zach, who is going to do poetry, I think it said. Round of applause. I named this, Where shall I find peace? Is in the arms of a loved one, where their gentle embrace shields me from the world.
Is it at church, in the presence of God? Is it in a quiet place, where one can be alone with my thoughts? Is it in the company of friends, relaxing in a familiar place? I've wandered far and wide. I've searched high and low, yet no matter where I search, peace eludes me. Where once my spirit found joy and comfort, now fear, isolation, and weariness resides. While in the presence of loved ones, my smile and laugh though I may, naught but anguish and turmoil burn in my soul. Though they try to help and aid me in my plight, no one can fathom the depths of my darkness, nor the magnitude of my despair. Far from them I feel, isolated from all by space and time, grasping out to them, yet never near enough. Oh, to bear the markings of my lamentation, to have such a beacon that might stand as testament to all, that it might cry out, look here is a broken vessel, see how it has fallen. Take note, lest you make the same mistakes. Oh, how I wish for a Savior, that he might see my beacon and rescue me from the jagged rocks that surround me. While in the house of the Lord I fear his might and revere his glory. I have seen his mercies and I have felt his touch, and I have heard his will. Yet still I fear him. While I sense his presence I flee. When he nears I feel panic, in his shadows I shake in terror. I try and hide myself from him, with hopes that I might cover my shame, the shame of abandoning he who loves me most. Even now he protects this child, surrounding him with those who love him and cherish him. He stands with arms wide open, waiting to embrace the lost one and welcome him home. But how can I go to him? He who bestows his favor upon me, who has given me so much. A family to lean on, a job to return to, friends who celebrate my return. How then can I return to his side? How can I move past the sins committed? Guilt paralyzes me, holds me firm as roots to a tree. Shame sears the soul, threatens to engulf the body. Yet here he stands, beckoning me to return. Oh, how I yearn to run to him, to feel his loving embrace. Yet the fear, the shame stops me. Why can I not release this burden? Why can I not let go of this shame? Damn this fear, damn this shame. Oh, how I yearn for release, for a peace everlasting. Yet I know of none. Alone I stand, yet still there is conflict. Within my mind there are wages of war, never ceasing. Fight after fight it continues. Each side struggling to preserve this life, yet neither can have peace. Each stands on distant sides, where one sees strength, the other sees weaknesses. Across my soul there thunders a storm, with such strength no vessel made by man could withstand. Where love for oneself should reside, there lies naught but hatred and repulsion. Within the mirror there lies not my reflection, but that of a weak and worthless husk, a failure that cannot stand alone, a failure that is in constant need. There in that glass gateway stands one who is broken, deformed, and incomplete. Such is the pain within me. Within me is but a dark void. Those who can see it should fear, for those who stray too close, they too will be swollen by the darkness. Thus is my life. Thus is my hell.